Hi, folks. My name's Charlie. I am the founder of Everywhere is Queer. I am making this video to share my story so other people like me, close to me, can feel seen, heard, and accepted for exactly who they are. First off, I live in New York City, so all the background noise, the honking, you're going to hear it. I'm not editing it out. I am making this video in one go. But I want to tell you the real full story of how I got to being the founder of Everywhere is Queer, a solo entrepreneur. I work for myself. I am salaried through my business. How I got here. So, grab your coffee, get cozy. I've got mine. This isn't going to be a short video, and I'm going to yap your ear off of a little bit about my life and how I got here. So, let's go. I grew up in a small town called Pewaukee, Wisconsin. A town of about 10,000 people. I grew up super conservative, super Republican, same thing, super Catholic. I was going to church twice a week, private Catholic school. You know, I don't blame my parents for how they raised us because they just did kind of what everyone else did, meaning like adults and everyone in their life, which I am a firm believer that we do turn into the people we surround ourselves around. Wisconsin, have you been? Wisconsin is such an interesting place. Like, geographically, I think it's one of the most beautiful places. I've been to 47 of the 50 states. Like, I'm talking lake life in the summer, pontoon boats, swimming, water skiing, tubing. I acknowledge I grew up in a very privileged life. Fully acknowledge that. My mom was stay at home for 20 years. Beyond grateful. I know that my father worked really hard, but also so much privilege. Like, fully acknowledge that. I do think, like, back just to Wisconsin, like, Wisconsin is such a beautiful state. Lake life. In the winter, the lakes will freeze and we get to ice skate on 7 square miles. I mean, it's the most beautiful thing ever. It doesn't happen every year because the ice has to freeze when it's not windy or snowy. Um, Wisconsin, what a culture. Like, people from Wisconsin fucking love Wisconsin. Like, they are like through and through. When I see like a Green Bay Packer logo here in New York City, like, I yell across the street, "Go Pack, go." Do I give a flying fuck about the Packers? No. Are the Packers the only fan owned NFL football team? I'm talking co op. As someone that went on to be a major hippie vegetarian, visiting co ops all over the country when I was traveling, love it. Go Pack, go. Sure. Don't even know players on. I don't even know the quarterback. Okay, growing up in Wisconsin, interesting place. Grew up around my cousins. Was super close with my cousins. Beyond grateful for that. Like, had like friends. Like, my cousins were my best friends. I knew I wanted to go to university, college out of Wisconsin. I wanted to leave. My siblings went to university in Minnesota. I was like, I got to get out of here. I got a job at an outdoor store. I turned really outdoorsy. I was like a paddleboard guide for a hot minute in Wisconsin before I left for college. And then I went to Colorado State University where I studied entrepreneurship, innovation, minor in sustainability. Did I have a big choice of what I was able to study? No. Did my parents influence that? Yes. Yes, they were able to support some of my university costs, not all of it. I was working. Okay, let's get into like the real deal story. Back to high school, parents get divorced. I did not have any friends in high school. I ate lunch in the bathroom or the ceramics room. I just was so anxious. I was a very anxious child. I had big feelings. I had no idea who I was. Clearly, I didn't think that I was queer. Every day I woke up and I was like, today will be the day I'm straight. And I truly, 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 truly convinced myself that I was straight. Like, I woke up every single day and I was like, today's the day. I promise I'm going to be straight. You know, I would go through my day. I would have these thoughts, feelings, emotions, and I would be like, nope, that was just like yesterday. So much religious shame that we have unpacked. And for those that are still unpacking your religious shame, I see you. I hear you. It's a journey. It's a life's work. I'm not perfect. I haven't like completely gotten over that hill. But yeah, I see you. It's tough. High school. I truly did not know who I was. So where I put my energy was a job. 15 years old, I got hired as a busboy at a sushi restaurant in Pewaukee, Wisconsin. I turned 16 and they're like, you have to start serving. We're too busy. I was like, yeah, let's go. Like I felt like being a server was running your own little business. Like I had my little black book. I had like, I just like felt like I was running my own little business because tips in Wisconsin, I was making 233 an hour as a server. So it was all tips. When I got my paychecks, it was like 15 cents, 30 cents. Um, and I dove and spent a lot of my energy into serving. So I would go to school and then I would go to work. I was working 5, 6 days a week, making 150 to $300 a shift. I put all of that money in savings. I was the most frugal person in high school. I did get a car from my family, like hand me down. It was a Grand Prix. I don't know anything about cars. It was a black Grand Prix. The worst car, rear wheel drive that you should have in Wisconsin when it is black ice everywhere. Well, I spun out many times, but you just kind of like it's just part of life there. Um yeah, I went into university with $30,000 in my bank account, all made by myself. I worked so much in high school. I mean, y'all, I ran the sushi restaurant. I did. People were coming into that restaurant asking for my name to be their server every day, every shift. Like, I had my people, a lot of them family friends. But I mean, yeah, so grateful. So that's what helped pay for my college tuition out of state, not cheap. Went to Colorado State University and I didn't work for the first like semester. I wanted to I met my friends my first week in college. It was amazing. I ended up living with them. They became my best friends. They are still good friends today. Um, Still, I did not come out struggling with my sexuality, but definitely had access to apps in the gay world that connected me to people at 2 a.m. I name it. That's my truth. That's how I explored my sexuality. So unsafe. Like, not okay. But we are here today, and I am grateful for that. Um, yeah, college was a blast. I mean, I lived this super outdoorsy life. For me, I was not a student. Like, I wasn't. My brain is not trained. Like, it does. It's just not meant for the education system. I got a 21 on the ACT. If anyone knows what that is, I did not take the SAT, and I had to work with a tutor. I got it up to a 23, which got me into CSU. It's the only university I applied to. College was an adventure, though. I mean, truly, it was an adventure. I was skiing in Canada. I had amazing friends. I had a friend group for the first time, and that was just like so amazing. And why I struggle today of like I secretly seek a friend group in my life at 29 years old. We'll get there. College, great friends, hooking up with people at 2 a.m. was really my journey. In 2017, my junior year of college, my best friend and cousin in my whole life passed away while on vacation in Mexico. Uh, I came out to her December of 2016. And January 11th, 2017, she passed away. I I mean, this part of my life just completely, like, I don't remember it. I was crying every single night going to bed for many, 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 many months. And still, certain songs and music will just hit me so hard. My whole life flipped upside down at this point. And it was that moment that I said, life is so fragile. I gotta go live my most authentic life because it could end tomorrow, is truly how I still feel today. And for Abby, my cousin, I love you. I believe that you're listening to this. I was like, I have to go live my most authentic life. So I chose to do it. I came out to my family. You know, the first thing my mom said to me when I came out was, I don't care how it happens. I just want a baby Charlie in this world, which I think is so funny. We love my mom. We love, like, number one fan. Coming out to the rest of my family, siblings, amazing. Other people in my family, really difficult. Again, growing up, I had two liberal aunts, one of 32 cousins total. I'm the only out cousin of the family. I did not have queer representation growing up. I did not have queer family growing up. I did not know queer couples growing up. I did not have anyone within the liberal mindset. Yes, I had two liberal aunts, but they weren't like, we weren't having conversations. Like, I was not outwardly liberal growing up. I did not know liberal people until I went to college. I mean, yes, I had my two liberal aunts, but like diving into conversation when I met my roommates in college, one of them who grew up in Madison, Wisconsin, in 45 minutes, an hour away from me, had the opposite, like, most liberal parents experience. Her dad became pretty much a step in father for me, you know? He, the most amazing dad ever. Um, yeah, I mean, the liberal parents that stepped into my life in college and stuff just absolutely changed my life and my perspective. And I was like, I didn't even know people your age could think like that. Like, I didn't, like, really did not believe in, like, liberal adults existing in this world. I After I came out, I was like, I knew I was destined to go live a bigger life. Like, I needed to get out of Fort Collins. Fort Collins, Colorado, which is where I went to school, is 250,000 people, probably a little bit bigger now. But I was like, I need to get out. So I accepted this job as a rep for an organic beverage company. January, I think I started January 1st, January 2nd, 2019. I've got something for the new year because I launched my business on January 2nd. Um, but yeah, January 2nd, 2019, I take a rep as an organic beverage company, and they're like, we're going to give you a van. You're going to travel the country. You're going to be 100% travel. We're going to pay for your food. We're going to put you in an Airbnb or, what is it? Airbnb or hotel every single night of your life. We're going to pay your car insurance, gas, Spotify, phone bill. Salaried at $40,000, 40 or $45,000. Oh god, I thought it was so much money at that time. I take this job and I have, like, the year of my life, and I travel for 1 year. I go to 47 of the 50 states. I visit so many queer people, meet so many queer people, go on random Tinder dates all over the country. And after that, I knew I wanted to settle down, like, not settle down, but like build a community and find somewhere to live. And in those travels, I fell in love with New York City. I had not lived in a town bigger than 250,000 people at this point, but I knew that I wanted to try New York City. February 4th, 2020, I signed a year lease in Crown Heights in Brooklyn, New York. 6 weeks later, I fly to Wisconsin for my grandpa's funeral, and the pandemic hits the like day I fly to Wisconsin. March 16th or something is like when it really hit New York. Somewhere around that date. I get stuck in Wisconsin for 3 months. Now, to come around, I am super close with my immediate family today. I love them like at this point like we were close, but like today we're like super close and I'm so grateful for them. I love them with my full heart. They're fully supportive of me. Um my immediate family most are all liberal and like amazing. Like I love them. Wisconsin still just like really triggers me though. So I got stuck in Wisconsin for 3 months and I was like I got to get out of here. My one of my besties lived in New York as well, so we drove out to New York, packed up a car, our stuff, and we moved out. I sublet my apartment, paid rent in New York for 3 more months, not living there. Sublet my apartment, and I was in Wisconsin still. And then my best friend was living in North Carolina. She called me up and she said, "Hey, Charlie, we're moving to Boulder, Colorado." Drove her car from North Carolina to Wisconsin. We drove to Boulder, Colorado. We lived together for a year in Boulder. Had our bags strapped to the top of the car with ropes. We had a tarp over it. Tarp just so funny. Lived in Boulder full pandemic, like tried to live an outdoorsy life because that's where I wanted to be in the pandemic. Then I was like trying to live my queer life. And I had some of my best friends from college that lived in Bend, Oregon. If you don't know Bend, Oregon, it's a small town in Eastern Oregon. 200,000 people, I think a little less. Beautiful, beautiful place. And my friends had a room that opened up and they were like, "We know some queer people here. Maybe you can like live a queer life here." I think I'm like 24 years old. This is like 2022, 2021, 2021. Yeah. Moved to Bend, Oregon. And I actually like build a great community in Bend, Oregon. For how small it is. Met a lot of people. My friends there had a great community. I met a lot of queer people. Like small town queer vibes, but like met a lot of queer people. Not the place to like for me at this time to like be dating people. Maybe I dated a closeted man for a year. Maybe he didn't acknowledge me when he saw me in public. Maybe not the most progress in my steps in a healthy queer life, but hey, it goes like this, y'all. It's fluid. We all have journeys. I live a good life in Bend. Well, in Bend, I go and volunteer at Brave Trails, which is a queer youth leadership camp for 12 to 18-year-old youth. I head down to outside of LA and I volunteer and run their outdoor program for 1 week. I was a camp counselor and ran their program. Had some friends that were doing this, so wanted to go do this. And being in the experience of Brave Trails as an adult, 24 years old, I should do the math. Yeah, I'm like 25. Um, like haven't had a big queer community in my life at this point. I it really did change my life, being in a space of 100 queer people. Like all my life people have made fun of my voice. Still today when I get on a phone, every single person says, "Ma'am, I had to just get health insurance." And when I was like getting the plan on the phone, because that's I whatever, call me millennial. Yes, I did it via the phone. Uh they were like, just confirming, are you a man or a woman? You said male, but like your voice is giving woman." Like I am a cis man, I promise. And yeah, but that's been my lived experience my whole life. I mean, I was called the F slur my entire childhood. Uh yeah, I derail. Brave Trails was just truly such a beautiful experience where just like all of those experiences of people making fun of my voice, which is like probably the number one thing in my life, and then just like calling me gay just based on my personality, my voice. Um I just like none of that existed at Brave Trails. Truly just was such a euphoric experience for me. And I was driving back to Boulder, Colorado after Brave Trails. I had an 18-hour drive, and all my best ideas come in the car. I'm not sure why. I thought of this idea of well, no, wait. I was like, how can I create that euphoric experience that I just had for the queer community, queer trans ally community at a global scale? Like, how can I make that feeling that I just had? How can I allow our community to feel that way every single day? And I was thinking, like, okay, what was it? I was in a space of all queer people who have the lived experience of being queer. So we have a mutual understanding of being queer. So I was like, okay, what queer spaces exist in the world globally? And I was like, queer owned businesses. Like, queer owned businesses are going to set their businesses up as a queer person. Like, gender neutral bathrooms should be a thing in every fucking bathroom globally. But I would say majority of queer owned businesses who have bathrooms are going to have gender neutral bathrooms. Boom. Like that, just those little things, those little like things of awareness are going to allow the queer trans and ally community to feel so seen out in the world. So I dove into my computer in Boulder. No, I was in Bend. Lies. I lied to everyone. My story is so off. I'm so sorry. I was living in Boulder and then I moved to Bend when I launched my business. Y'all, I'm so sorry. My timeline is just whatever. I lived in Boulder and then I lived in Bend. I ended up launching my business in Bend. But I was in Boulder when I thought of my idea because I was driving back to Boulder. So sorry for this roller coaster. But I don't care. I'm this is how life is. I'm just a human. Yeah, I was in Boulder, Colorado. I dove into my computer, moved to Bend, Oregon, and it was just a Google Excel doc. Like, it was a Google form that businesses could fill out that went into an Excel doc that I overlaid onto Google My Maps. Go check out my original map. It's hilarious. It's like so ugly. Pins were made on Canva, all of it. But the idea of a worldwide map of queer owned businesses to connect the queer, trans, and ally community to safer spaces, all while supporting queer entrepreneurs. I was like, this is a win, 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 win. So, yeah, I thought of this idea, moved to Bend, Oregon, posted this idea January 2nd, 2022. I do know that date. 2022. And then a few months in, I just had some insanely viral videos, millions of views. And everyone was like, this is great. And I was reaching out to businesses just like online. I searched hashtag queer owned on uh, Instagram, and there was like 80,000 plus hashtags. And I was just going down the line of the hashtags and messaging it, copy and paste message. Hey, I'm building a worldwide map. It's free to join. Fill out this form via the link in our bio. Like, make sure to share to your story so we can just continue to build this resource for our community collectively. And it just like all the businesses were like, yes, I'm in. Like, let's do this. Like, post it on their story, and then all their following is like a lot of queer owned businesses, and then it just like grew, and grew. And I just kept posting on Instagram primarily, TikTok as well, but like Instagram. A few months in, I got picked up by CNN. I was one of 30 queer trailblazers next to Jojo Siwa, Lil Nas X. Hope those folks are doing okay. Um, yeah, queer mapper, Charlie Sprinkman. I just kind of kept going at it. I had a full-time job. I was senior customer service manager at this point for a CPG brand and working full-time. So I was just building this on my side, living my Bend life. And then it just kept going and going and growing. And, I made $7,000 my first year with my business, which, to everyone's knowledge, that's not going to pay for a life. And so I was just like thinking, like, how could I maybe turn this into a business in like a thoughtful, not like super capitalistic way? Like, I want this to be about queer owned businesses and I'm not trying to be the next Amazon. And yeah, so I built a following on social media. You know, we have 168,000 followers on Instagram, 123,000 on TikTok. It's big. It's nothing extremely large, but I built a following on social media. It was super engaged, still is, but um yeah, and so I built this following, and then after a viral video of me posting about, I think it was queer tattoo artists. I was calling out for queer tattoo artists. I think it has millions of views at this point. Um, I got a cold email from this human outside of LA, and he said, "Hey, like I'm an app developer. I could create this into an app if you wanted to. Like, let's hop on a call." And so I scheduled a call with him, and we ended up writing up a contract. He really reduced his rates like significantly, and he said like, "Hey, like I just like contract for my work, and I have some really solid gigs. I would love to do this part time for you. Like, let's do this together." He's like, "I'm a part of the community. He has a husband, raising a child, and he was like, I want this for our community." He and I were like, "I think we could like monetize the app, and like this is how we could make money, and like maybe turn it into a little bit of a business." And I was like, "I'm so down." So I go down to like part-time from my full-time job for about 6 months, and then October 2023, he and I that's when Chris reached out, and that's when I decided to quit my full-time job, and I went all in. I had been saving money, and October 2023 to February 2024, uh, February 20th, 2024, we launched the first version of the Everywhere is Queer app. And overnight, that day is when we started making money. And not a ton of money, but money. And by May of 2024, I was salaried in the business. I took my first salary payment. So I was unpaid from January 2nd, 2022 to May of 2024. So 2.5 years, which in the entrepreneurship world, a lot of business owners don't take payment within the first 5 years sometimes. Some say with before 3 years is incredible. And I take that as a win. I am so fucking proud of myself for what I've built today, how I built it, what I'll continue to do with this business, however, what way it goes. I'm so grateful for my developer. Like, I would not be here. He changed my life. He's changed the lives of hundreds of thousands of queer, trans, and allied people. But yeah, we built our app. So if you haven't downloaded our app, it's free on iOS and Android, available globally. If you are a queer owned business and aren't on our platform, it's free to join via the profile tab of our app. If you know of a queer owned business, tag them in the comments, go tell them, call them, text them, message them on Instagram. We want all business owners to apply themselves, as we want their consent to be listed on our platform. I have approved every single 20,200 and something businesses on our platform. They apply. I look at their website, bio, um, just a little bit of their information, their social media, make sure they're legit. And then I click approve, and they're listed on our platform. Um, we have connected hundreds of thousands of people with safer spaces and have supported so many queer owned organizations. You know, we had a hair salon in rural Texas message me and say, "I received 15 new clients in 1 month of being listed on your platform. You've changed my life. You've changed the lives of these people that get to sit in a queer affirming chair." I mean, I've had lesbians message me and say, "We planned a road trip across the United States going to queer owned organizations, and we felt safe the whole way because of you." I had a woman in actually Bend, Oregon reach out and share that she has a trans nephew, and her nephew was too scared to come visit her in Central Oregon, which can be a very scary place outside of the city center of Bend that is liberal and can be queer affirming. She said that her trans nephew came and visited her in Bend, Oregon, and she took him to all trans affirming spaces. And now her trans nephew wants to come back and visit her and loved Bend, Oregon. She said, "Thank you for connecting my family. Thank you for bringing my family together." I I mean, I live so far away from my family. I love my family. I wish I lived by my family. I wish that where my family grew up could be more liberal and open minded and just accepting of all humans. I wish they lived in New York City. I now live in New York City. I moved here 4 months ago. I ended up moving from Bend to Portland, Oregon, where I really grew everywhere as queer in Portland, Oregon. I think one of the queerest, most trans people per capita, I believe. Portland, Oregon. I do think that Portland has a bit of a liberal, like, cancel culture. Like, it's very, they cancel each other out, like each other, and I didn't love that. That was just my lived experience. I also wanted a city with just a bit more diversity. There is diversity in Portland, but um, I just wanted a more global city. And I mean, Portland, 600,000 people, and New York City is 8, 9 million. In the almost 5 months that I've lived here, I have made friends from all over the world. All over the world. I've gone on dates with people from all over the world. And that's just, for me right now, the life that I want to live. I definitely really miss my outdoorsy side. I'm a very active individual. Like, I need to find friends in New York City who want to wake up and like go take on the day. Like, I want to go, like, even if that means like let's go get an appetizer at 10 restaurants, like that's what I want to do. Like, I'll live the New York City life version. When my sister was here just a few weeks ago, we walked 10 and a half miles in one day. We walked all over my neighborhood. We walked across the Williamsburg Bridge. It was beautiful. Um, Thanks for listening. This has been lovely to share. I hope that this video will reach the right people. You know, as a, I identify as queer and as a gay man. Let me live my life. I can identify however I want. I truly hope that more cis gay men will find our app, use the privilege that they have. Gay men are still men, and men make more money than women. There is a total gender pay gap still happening in 2026. That is not okay. And I hope that these cis gay men will use our app more. 75% of my following on Instagram is women. It is, Instagram does it by the binary, which I don't love, but 75% of my following is women. I have learned that a lot of my following is sapphic, queer, women, and trans folks. There are some gay men. I'm not saying cis gay men. Hey, I love you. But we need more. And I hope this reaches more of the queer, trans, and ally and sapphic women, lesbian community. 275,000 people have downloaded our app, but there are millions of queer, trans, and allied individuals that should know about our free resource. It's the least we deserve as queer people. Like, to feel our most authentic self every single day. So, it's heavy out there. It's really heavy out there right now. I hope that my app can be a beacon of hope and light to a lot of people, even if it's just seeing our map and all the amount of organizations. We're in all 50 states, we're global. Uh, in and around where you live, I hope we have representation where you live. Go look at Portland, Oregon if you ever feel bleak or that queer people don't exist. I mean, open our app, scroll around. We are everywhere. Thanks for being here. And let me know if you have any questions. I see you. And everywhere truly is queer. Cheers.